Welcome back. All right. So this was an odd game in that I didn't think Boston necessarily was the better team. I don't think that argument can be made throughout the entire game. Once we reached the third period, there was some control to it. But the Capitals played pretty well. And yet now there are some questions about the Capitals. So I've been doing this series on teams that missed the playoffs. And the series that follows that is on how teams lose in the playoffs and what their road going forward might be. It's not completely different than the series on teams that missed the playoffs, but obviously there's a bit of a different bent to it. So it was Tenorti's debut for Boston. I thought he played well. I did. I've always thought Jared Tenorti's a good player. I know there are others who will say, no, he isn't. I think he's a good defenseman. I think he provides some physicality. I don't think he hurts them out there. But anyways, our early chances were for the Bruins. The Caps would press at about 5 minutes into this game. Jensen had a shot that was saved. I spelled that one wrong. That's fine. I'm not complaining. But Chara then hits Smith, and then he gets into it with Tenorti. Now, right away, the announcer's like, oh, this is the first time we've seen Chara go at the Bruins. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, he didn't play with Craig Smith or Jared Tenorti. So these aren't guys he played with. So yeah, it makes sense that he'd knock one over and get into the face of the other. But I thought physically, even though Boston doesn't have as many hits as the Caps do in this game, I thought Boston physically matched up pretty well with them. We get 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. Samsonov stops a Grizzlick shot. The Caps then get a power play. McAvoy hitting Wilson. And, Wilson's a big guy, and he's really strong. So seeing McAvoy take a run at him and knock him over, that's saying something. So, McAvoy lived to talk about it. So, Caps were having trouble setting up on that power play. We get a shorthanded chance for Wagner, and a shot, and his shot was saved during a 2-on-1. The Caps, then it's Wilson that takes a penalty. So Wilson gets frustrated. He takes a penalty. McAvoy missed high at the start of the Bruins power play. Ritchie had a chance that was saved. Things get kind of scrummy after the penalty ends. Not a lot of that in this game. I thought, comparatively speaking, with some of the other series, there wasn't a ton of that tonight. The shots were 8-2 for the Bruins with 9 minutes left. And it didn't feel like that was how the play was going, but that's what the shots tell you. So with the Caps turnover, Corelli had a chance. He doesn't get it. Sprong fires one off the mask of Tuca with 5 minutes left. Caps then get a late power play. That was killed off. And then, with 29 seconds left, the Caps get their third power play of the first period. So, stay out of the box. They never listen to me. Ever. So, they didn't stay out of the box. Second period, the Bruins finish off the kill, meaning their penalty kill was 3 for 3 at that point. And then Pastrnak, not long after it's finished, scores from Riley at 2:28. Riley's fit in very well. Hopefully he remains a Bruin next year. And it was a beast mode goal for Pastrnak. And that was maybe the best goal he scored since maybe this season. I'm going to say since returning from injury, but yeah, maybe all season. And just the dekes, the moves he made on that were just absolutely fantastic. Mantha then almost answers, and then he gets another chance. Rask made the save there. The Bruins end up with a power play. Hall had a break, but he mishandled it there. The Caps managed to kill it off. The chances were going both ways. Riley had a shot that deflects wide. Then there was almost a goal for Craig Smith. But really, this game comes down to that first line. I'm not calling him that. That first line drove the play for the Bruins today. I didn't think the other lines were anywhere near as effective. The fourth line had some moments, but the second and third lines were kind of invisible through large portions of this game. Kuznetsov had a long-range shot that was saved. Ovechkin throwing hits. The shots were 10-2 for the Caps, 9 minutes in. So the Caps kind of reversed the shots from the first period, but they're down. They've only allowed 2 shots, and one of them has gone in. Rask was being tested plenty. Bruins are stuck on 2 shots. Kuznetsov had a fast break, sends that wide. Lazar then had a close call at the Caps net, and then it's Bergeron, because that line was on today. Scored from Riley and Pastrnak at 14:05. That makes it 2-0 in favor of the Bruins. That's their third shot of the period. So I'm kind of left going, I feel bad for Samsonov because it's Bergeron and Pastrnak. It's not like it's a couple of scrubs that got the goals here, but still, it's 2 goals on 3 shots, and people are going to talk about it. And yeah, Samsonov probably needs to save that one. Wasn't a fantastic goal, but it's Bergeron, so there you go. And then right right after that goal, they DJs always pay attention to what's being played. They played Kesha's song "Blow," which if you don't know it, there's a couple connotations. No, not that. But I thought it was a funny song to play because it's the chorus is "This place about to blow," and I thought, you know what, it's probably a good song to play after your team just went down 2-0. So Grzelcyk then blocks a chance for Sherry. Rask covered during an absolutely mad scramble at the net. So Rask had a really good game, but he saw most of the shots. The Bruins made sure the net was clear, and the Caps just weren't crashing the net enough. Samsonov then was sharp on a coil chance. Hathaway tries to jam one in at the other end. Ovechkin had a tip shot. That was saved by Rask. Orlov broke up a Bruins chance. And in the closing minutes, there was a break for the Bruins, and that was defended. So we go to the third period, where the Bruins are coming out of a period where they had 2 goals on 4 shots. And so the Capitals, they get a measure of revenge. 11 seconds in, and it's Sherry, who's had a really good year for the Caps. He scores from Oshie and Orlov at 11 seconds. So that's 2-1. What that does is, and it's on his own rebound too, is a nice goal. That brings the building to life, because building was really quiet after that 2-0 goal. Brings the building to life, and it gives them a feeling of, all right, we're in this now. Kuznetsov then had a fast break. He fired wide. The Bruins pressured at the 3-minute mark. Then there was a set play to Ovechkin. Rask either read the play and where it was going, or he just makes a really good reactionary save there. Rask was busy in that third period, not as busy as in the second, but still pretty busy. Busier than the goaltender at the other end of the rink. Oshie nearly gets one. He was in alone there. Bruins were sitting back, I thought, too much. I really thought the Bruins needed to do more attacking than they were in that third period. And I get it, you're protecting a lead, but it's only a 1-goal lead, and it makes me nervous every single time. Samsonov then denies Marchand to keep the Caps in it. Hall breaks up a good chance for the Caps. The Caps pressed at the 7.5-minute mark. Chinordi was doing a good job shot blocking out there in the third period. The Bergeron line was generating the offense. And I put that up here. Bergeron line does generate offense, meaning the puck's in the other end of the ice. Who got the... Oh, it's the Bergeron line out there. Oh, hey, the Bruins cleared it. How'd they do that? It's the Bergeron line that's out there. So this is one issue that they may want to look at going into the next round, because regardless of whether they play the Islanders or the Penguins, they're going to be playing against a team that can roll 4 lines better than the Capitals were able to do in this series. So yeah, and so the Caps pressed again at the halfway mark. Wilson had a shot that was saved during a bad line change by the Bruins. So you get a situation where a guy's jumping on the ice and realizes the guy coming off hasn't quite come off yet, so he has to jump back on the bench. So what you do is, in that situation, you create a 5-on-4. So Wilson's shot was during that accidental 5-on-4. I'm on the ice. No, I'm not. So, and if you do that fast enough, then the linesmen and referees aren't going to say anything. But if you decide, oh, well, screw it, I'm fine, that's when the too many men on the ice call is going to be made, especially if the puck's near you, which it was in that situation. Mantha then had a shot, was stopped, and then a turnover by Oshie. Uncharacteristic turnover. Bergeron gets his second of the game at 12:25. Pastrnak was screening. There's no way that Samsonov saw that puck. No chance Samsonov saw that puck at all. So, yeah, then with 7:15 left, not very long after this puck has gone in, the Caps get themselves a power play. Coyle would cover a puck in his own end. The Bruins would clear it out during that power play. He didn't cover it with his hands. Careful about the hands. Kuznetsov then shoved Rask, and Eller scores. Can't do that. So it wasn't a goal. The Caps, I think they thought about challenging, but that goal wasn't being overturned. Kuznetsov on his own went into the crease and just shoved Rask out of the way. Now Rask did come back over, but still, that's you can't do that. So there's no goal. They don't challenge it. The Bruins then finished off the kill. Pastrnak to Marchand was a near miss. Schultz hits the outside of the net. Now what happens with that is the light came on. So the light comes on, and I thought that threw off the play immediately afterwards. Sprong takes a penalty with 3:42 left, and I don't know whether the Caps maybe thought, hey, that puck's in, and then also, no, shoot, the Bruins are going the other way, so Sprong with the trip. But it was a bang-bang play. It was like, oh, the puck's out on the outside of the net, the light comes on, the crowd goes wild, The whistle goes, and it's actually for a power play for the Bruins, as I said, with 3:42 left, and it felt like that probably ended the series. So they would kill that off. They would pull the goaltender with 1 minute and 12 seconds left. Lazar then beat out an icing call with about 1 minute left, which was awesome. It's one of those things that you don't see on the score sheet the next day, is the guy beat out an icing call so that the Bruins are able to A, get a line change, and B, keep them at the other end of the ice with 1 minute left, up by 2. But it's a nice play by Lazar. Bruins would kill off that final minute. They win it 3-1. They win the series 4-1. So the Caps, their season's done. They had a pretty good year, but they're out in the first round. And they were out in the first round last year as well. And they were out in the first round the year before that. Since they won the Stanley Cup in 2018, they have not won a round. Boston, they did point out Boston's won a round now 4 years in a row. It's rare for a team to do that, to get out of the first round every year for 4 years. I would caveat this and asterisk it with, but they haven't won a cup. So, but again, it is kind of nice to see, again, as a Bruins fan, to see them do that and be able to play shipping up to Boston. The shots favored the Caps throughout in this, showing just how good Rask was. Outshot them 10-9 in the first, 20-4 in the second, 11-6 in the third. Final shots 41-19 for the Caps. Power plays 0 for 3 for Boston, 0 for 4 for Washington. Hits were 36-26 for the Caps. Block shots 19-14 for the Bruins. Rask saves 40 out of 41. He will get absolutely no extra respect from people that don't like him and say he's going to choke. It doesn't matter. He could save 80 shots, and the naysayers will still say he's going to choke. So even though he wins all these rounds and playoff games, and he's the all-time leader in playoff wins for the Bruins, the naysayers will not be convinced. In fact, I'm to the point where I think if the Bruins somehow won the Cup, a naysayer for Rask would say they won it despite Rask. So Samsonov saved 16 out of 19 in the loss. And for the Caps, it's back to the drawing board. And since they're an older team, questions get asked going to this summer. Do you start looking at making some changes to get a little younger, get a little faster, and to answer the trend in the playoffs, which has been a downward trend, where some really good regular seasons have been for naught? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.